And we should be live. Welcome everybody to another live stream repair. We've got two HomePods here today that need fixing. Let's see. First one here comes from Bobby. And they've got no power. So let's get that up on the screen there. All right. One second here. All right. Sorry, folks. So this second HomePod here coming from Eddie. They're saying that it pops and resets. Alright, now we're all caught up. So let's take a look at Bobby's HomePod here. Let's get that plugged into some power and just double check its symptoms real quick before we tear on into it. And yes sirree, we've got no signs of life there with about 6 watts being drawn at the wall. So let's get this torn apart, see what we find. Oh, almost forgot my other camera here. There we go. Let's get this sucker open. Bonk. Ooh, that came up real easy. Woofer check. Looks good. Feels good. Smells good. And we're in. In it to fix it. Y'all aren't ready for this cheese. We'll just double check that diode right there. It's probably the culprit of our no power situation here. Gonna stick our meter into continuity test mode. And if this diode shows shorted, then that is almost certainly our problem here. And yes sirree. We don't even need to bother checking it based on experience, but figured I might as well show you guys. Let's get that pulled off, replace it with a new diode that isn't shorted, preferably, and get this board powering on again. And here we go. Looks like we got a little extra little solder splatter there. Let's get those out of the way. We don't want any shorts, do we? Looks like we got it all. There we go. Now it looks like we got it all. Where did you come from, little guy? You came off from the back side of our board. Interesting. We probably used a little too much heat there, but that's no problem. We'll put that right back on. Alright, you playing games? This sucker wants to play games. Huh. Get out of here, you silly capacitor. Alright, that's nice and solid on there. Nice solid gap between those two parts. Everything else still looks hunky-dory. So this board is ready to test. Alright, does our meter have a good connection? Appears so. This thing is ready to test. Alright, we got power. We'll give this a second to boot up. And let's wake up that amplifier and see if it's got any DC offset. And no, we're looking pretty cool at about around 1 millivolt. All right. This bad boy is ready to go back together. Come on. There we go. Here we go. First repair coming on up. Yeah.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble.
All right. Pending a factory reset and sound test. This one is all good to go. Let's set that to the side. And break out Eddie's HomePod here. And we've got ourselves a slightly less common repair for ourselves today here from Eddie. They actually bought this one straight off eBay and had it sent right to me. And this one has an issue where it will pop and restart, so I'm interested to see if we can figure this one out on stream today, or if we'll have to tap out and just replace the amplifier board entirely and save the deeper dive for the amplifier for another day, but we'll see. We'll see what we've got going on here. All right, let's get this power cable out of the way. And let's get this thing powered on up. See what it does here. We got a second one from Eddie here, also from eBay. Perhaps we got them mixed up. So let's get the other one on the table here. One of these two from Eddie on eBay is for parts, and the other one is a no power, one that we're supposed to fix. Alright, let's double check here. And if this one shows any signs of booting up, then it's probably blinking. But yeah, this is probably going to go to blinking volume buttons. So, interesting. Unfortunately, it looks like the seller Eddie bought this HomePod from was either they gave them the wrong one here, or they just didn't know what they were selling, because they said here that this one would boot up, but it would pop and restart. And that is certainly not what we're seeing here. We're seeing the blinking volume lights of death here, which, as most of us know by now, that is unfortunately not something that I can offer any sort of repair for. Reason for that,
I'm having trouble connecting to.
Oh, okay, so this one actually booted up. I spoke too soon. Well, anyways, I might as well finish up the blinking volume button blurb here. So anyways, because we currently don't have a way to repair the blinking volume buttons, y'all saw that, right? I was gonna say, because we don't have a fix for that, we can't offer repairs for it. But I've never seen that before, where it just restarts itself like that in the middle of the volume buttons blinking. That is very strange. What have you gotten ourselves into here, Eddie? What did you get ourselves into? Interesting. I'm just double checking my emails between me and Eddie here to make sure I've got all my bearings straight here. Eddie's probably going to be watching this stream later, shaking his fist at the screen. Let's see. So the first one that he sent us a few days ago was a no power one, and we got that fixed up, and it was in mint condition. And then these two, I'm sure we've probably got something confused here. But the good news here is, and what we'll probably end up doing here, is we will take the logic board from this one and the top from this one and put it onto this one. And we're also going to dye the mesh on this one dark blue. We've also got his mint white one that we fixed a couple days ago that he wanted to have dyed red. Unfortunately, I can't do any kind of mesh dyeing at the moment because I don't have any running water still. We had a pretty big water leak that was discovered at our house last Wednesday, and whoa.
I'm having Wi-Fi.
Wow. Who was that? Was that you? Huh. So that's the popping and resetting, maybe. I am thoroughly confused about the behavior here. Okay, so anyways, here's the game plan, folks. One of these two HomePods from Eddie here is supposed to be for parts, and the other one we're supposed to fix up and dye a deep blue color. So we're going to take the logic board from this one since it's not bricked, and we're going to put it into this one since it is bricked. And then when we have running water again, we'll get his HomePods all colored up, and then we can send everything back. So. Oh boy, that was kind of startling. That was a loud pop. Oh, hey Paul, welcome to the stream. Let's see, you emailed me earlier. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's right. You wanted to send, you were thinking about sending just your board in. That's right. Hope all is well over there. Yeah, I just had to double check and go back and refresh my memory on what our conversation was there. I get a lot of emails every day. It's hard to keep track of everyone. Yeah, you have running water too. Very funny. But it flushes in reverse, doesn't it? Don't you guys have a problem with the water like going up instead of down? Haha, funny upside down jokes. I'm sure you've heard enough of them. So for these two here, from Eddie, I'm going to break them down till we get to the logic boards, and we're going to go ahead and pause there until we can just double check with Eddie here what exactly the eBay sellers sent him, or sold him, I should say. What the eBay sellers say they sold and what you actually get isn't always the same thing. But I'm sure we've just got a couple little misunderstandings here, and we'll get a clear picture. Oh yeah, that's pretty much what I expected here. So we're going to see some physical damage on the inside of this one. Obviously, because the top plastic on this guy was a little cracked. Always hard to tell the extent of that physical damage until you can get it apart, though. Sometimes you get away with just a little crack in the top, and sometimes you don't end up cracking the top at all, but you still did a serious number to the parts inside. And maybe if we're lucky here, the source of all of this HomePod's problems will be right here. That looks all good. And I know I said I was going to stop once I got the logic boards out, but I do want to swap them and see what behavior changes, see what problems move between the HomePods. Yeah, if you end up getting that spudger in between the plastic and the PCB on the display here, it is pretty forgiving. And even then, the only thing that you really risk breaking off here is the ambient light sensor. So you lose automatic brightness if you do so, which isn't the end of the world. And then aside from that, if you're using a metal tool, then you run the risk of scratching the crap out of the PCB here and damaging traces on that side. But generally speaking, these are pretty forgiving, pretty resilient little pieces. Okay, so we're gonna label these really quick. We got black P&R for black pops and resets, because I think this is the one that made that really loud pop and scared us there. I'm not too sure. Could have been either one of these two. And then for this one, white, plus and minus. So this is the bricked one that was flashing the volume buttons at us in this white HomePod originally, and it was also exhibiting that weird behavior where it would randomly reboot as well, which is something I haven't seen with this sort of failure mode before. So let's see if that problem goodbye. Anyways, let's see if that problem persists when we put this logic board into a different HomePod. I have a feeling, here's my guess here, this logic board is probably bricked and it's probably purely on the logic board, and when we put it into this black HomePod here, it's probably going to do the same thing, boot to volume buttons and then reset a bunch of times and do the same thing. I have a feeling that, I don't really actually know. Let's just get these things powered on here. Enough speculating. All right. White 1 booting up. black one with white's logic board. Booting up. Or not.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Okay, so this one is working fine so far. But this one here, she ain't giving us the beans. Why is that? Should try a different display just for kicks and giggles. Interesting. We'll have to double check this display here. Maybe I had it plugged in wrong? Oh?
I'm having trouble connecting to the
Uh-huh. Eddie, you lucky. Neither of these are bricked. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's try this again with this display. What solder do I use? I use this stuff. 6340 or 6337. I am not particular in my solder ratio. I am quite an amateur in that regards. So, my take as to which solder you should use is as good as anyone else's. I use what works well for me personally, and it's just been that stuff over there. I'm sure other stuff out there works better, but what is up with this HomePod? Wow. So this display is busted. And that could... Huh. You're kidding. Eddie might have gotten very lucky with pretty much two working HomePods here when he thought he bought two broken ones. I don't see anything obviously wrong with this display either. Now, this is the display that was on the white HomePod here with the physical damage and the cracked top here. And there is a bit of the frame inside of here that the logic board sits in that's broken as well. So it's possible that this HomePod's random blinking volume button and boot loop issue here was really a display issue from physical damage to this display. It's interesting that I don't see anything obviously broken on here. Oh! Yes, I do. Look at this. I shouldn't be able to slide my Spud, you're under that. So yeah, that's interesting. Certainly not the case for the majority of other people's blinking volume buttons issues, but in this specific case, that is clearly the problem. Let's connect a good display back up to this white HomePod's logic board that we thought was bricked, and let's leave both of these powered on for a minute and just make sure that nothing unexpected happens. Yeah, sure enough, boots right up. This stuff I have is probably the best leaded solder. Yeah, I won't lie. Like I've used a lot of different random solder throughout my life, and granted I'm only 27 or 28. This is the best stuff. This stuff has been the easiest for me to work with. That in combination with some good flux. I mean, the second I got any flux, my hands on any flux at all, that really changed the game for soldering for me. But then I really honed in on this NC191. This stuff I really like, and it seems to work well for the majority of the solder that I encounter doing various repairs. So
I'm having Wi-Fi issues to the internet.
So they both still work. Blinking volume button was caused by the display on this one. Eddie, what do you think of that? And I mean, if we tried a little more, we could probably just pop this thing right off. Amazing. Alright, well, I think we may have seen enough here, folks. There's not much else I want to do with these until I've got my water back and we can start dyeing his HomePods here. I'm going to save the rest of the repairs for these. We're going to go ahead and crack them both apart and just make sure that they don't have any DC offset. Make sure they don't have any random popping and restarting, of course. I'll leave them plugged in here overnight to make sure that they don't pop and restart. But, you know, some preventative maintenance as well. We'll get those power diodes replaced on the amplifier so we don't worry about power issues. But yeah, wow. Busted display. You're kidding. Alright. Well, that was easy. I'm going to leave these plugged in for a while. Just make sure that they stay running nice and easy. And we don't have any other unexpected issues, but quite an interesting repair stream we had today. Well, hope you all enjoyed that. And I'll catch y'all in the next one where we will come back to these, do some routine maintenance and repairs on them, get them colored up, and yeah. Alright. So long, guys. Goodbye.